Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, not a lot of dressing, just moving straight onto the markets. We're taking a look at the S&P, then we'll see what happens in Bitcoin. There is a bit of a sell-off in there, but I think we're fine. The markets today was the first day. Yesterday, we talked about how the market is kind of tight and it's not doing anything wrong. Well, today it's the first day that it's sending a little bit of a signal that we could have some weakness, right? I mean, you can see that the sell-off is happening on a little bit of a higher volume. We have what's called almost like an outside day where we make a new high and then we reverse lower and we're close towards the lows, engulfing the previous day candle. In this case, maybe a couple of days, almost 3 or maybe even 4 days worth of price action, which was very tight. It kind of came today with a little bit of a sell-off. The sell-off was actually even stronger in the small caps, and I'm going to show you how also in terms of the percentage of number of stocks above key moving averages, how does that look? And even though the S&P 500 is still holding pretty well in here, you do have quite a bit of deterioration happening in the number of stocks above their 20-day percentage of stocks in here. Now we're at the 50%. We were as high as 80 a few days ago. We're also getting a little bit of a distribution in the stocks above their 50-day moving average, which was upwards of 80. Now it sits at about 60%, so we lost 20% of stocks moving below their 50-day moving average. We're starting to lose stocks below their 150-day and below their 200-day. So you wouldn't say that by the way the S&P 500 looks. But if you start to look, like if you look at something like NYSE, you can see how the sell-off in here was more pronounced, over 1%. And if you look at something like AWM, we lost 2% over there. So this is a big sell-off day in here. Again, it's the first sign of something that could go wrong, but we're still above the 20-day moving average and above all the key moving averages in here. But I would definitely, start to have my finger on the click for exits if this market starts to look worse, and by that I mean continuous sell-off on high volume. So I did close my long IWM position. I'll show you actually here in my platform kind of what I got rid of that this morning. So it was, where is this? Let me go, RTY right here at this red point, because I'm looking at the RSI. And I see a high RSI over here. I hear a smaller RSI here, and then a failure to continue to rally. And I would not have done it if the market would have closed up, or at least tried to create some kind of a rally. But this market was just weak throughout the day, right? So I've done a couple of other things that I'm going to show you as well. One of them, actually, let me just talk about it right now. I mean, the other one was Tesla, and I put this on Twitter yesterday, I think. Maybe I even touched on it in some of the videos, but I said, I think Tesla comes back into a reshorting. Why? Because you're coming from below. You're coming pretty strong. You remember I shorted Tesla here, and that was a stupid kind of short that I was forced to kind of get out of there, right there. And then I'm reshorting here into the 20-day, into the 50-day after I see a failure of Tesla to continue to move. Now, this morning, I felt a little weird, and I'm like, if it's going to go past this high, I'm going to have to get out. The market turned, and right now I think I'm sitting fine. We'll see what happens overnight, but I'm trying to see if I can hold this, maybe for a revisit of the lows. So that's, I think, there's something going on here with the market that we got to pay attention. So just kind of going back to the charts in here, I'm watching the 50-day, the 50 level into the RSI, especially where we have deeper sell-off, because you want that to hold and you want that to be a place of support in uptrends and a place to re-enter a trend. As weird as when like you feel a little bit awkward when you buy, when you see a sell-off coming into a level, right? Everybody wants to get a correction, but then when they get it, it's like, maybe I should wait a little bit, which is fine. But we got to see how we're going to react from here, because if we're going to get a little bit of a bullish candle, let's say into tomorrow, maybe into Thursday or Friday, we'll see. But maybe this level here holds, right? We don't have to find out by buying straight away. We can let the market show us that. Because even here, right, it came down. several weeks back, and it held for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, 6 days, even breaking below it for a little bit. But then it did this beautiful bullish candle. I think this was the volume on that day right there, and then that led to a pretty beautiful rally upward. So these are the stuff that I think can look for reactions to kind of go to the upside. So that's it on the markets. About 5 minutes of that. Let me jump over and take a look. Actually, yeah, let's take a look at the Bitcoin, and I'll revisit the wave count in the S&P because I know a lot of you want me to talk about crypto more and stuff, but I mean there's only so much there. So look, we were looking for a wave. A 3 in here that got hit at we know the level, so I'm going to put it up again. I talked about this yesterday, right? So it was about 261.8, and it moved up. I thought it was a bit closer than that, maybe. Anyway, maybe my numbers, yeah, something like that, right? Because now I kind of put it in the right place. So, and then I talked about, hey, the 38.2 pullback, where we're going to look for the market to hold, right? Now, what I don't like really, it's the fact that you had this kind of rejection from those levels, and you close near the lows, and now we're threatening to close near the lows again for a second consecutive day. So this puts, in terms of price action reading, this puts a fourth wave 38.2 a little bit under pressure. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to go. Market can stall in here a couple of days and just kind of find bids and then turn back to the upside. So I'm going to stay with that for now and think and give this count a chance to reverse from here, hold, or even because look, if a wave 2 is a bit sideways and you have a sharp fourth wave, that kind of works with the guideline of alternation. But if we're going to end up maybe a few more days here in a fourth wave where we're doing some kind of a triangle, as long as we're not going past 61.8, like if you start to sell below 113 in Bitcoin, I think the prospects of a fourth wave are going to be thrown out the window, and we got to look at something else. Maybe there's a bigger flat developing. I'm not willing to speculate right at the moment until I see. So we're going step by step, right? There's no reason to worry about something that really hasn't happened yet. So I do have a plan right now, for this fourth wave, and then if we're breaking below 61.8, then I know that the prospects of a fourth wave are an issue. Now, let me take a look kind of how it looks. Bitcoin on the daily time frames here on my technical page, and see how this behaves relative to the moving averages. So, again, you're still fine in here. You got, obviously you have this big level there. You got this level now at about, and see this one, this high, if you look at the number 112, it kind of falls in the same line with that 61.8. So, and with the 20-day moving average. So if we're going to get over there, we got to really hold it, because I don't know how else to count this. Let me exit this drawing. I don't know how else to count this and still remain bullish if we're coming all the way down there. I would have to go with some kind of a 1-2, 1-2, and that's just going to look a little bit weird. So, I have to let the market develop and just show me a little bit better, kind of its character. This is S&P. I'm going to get back to it, but let me go back to here, and I'm going to try to squeeze this up, and then also go to kind of how everything looks, on the weekly. Because sometimes, if you go on the weekly, things look like, yeah, that's just fine. Everything is looking, still good for further upside, and you have an impulse in here and have a little correction. So what is this? Well, it's got to be part of the next sequence higher, because it would look very weird for this to be a fifth wave, where you would have something like a 1, small 2, 3, big 4, and a 5 to allow for a bigger correction. Like I don't see that from when I'm looking at the daily time frame. It almost like you would have to go, and this is very forced, you would have to go like a wave 1 somehow, a 2, a 3, a small 4 here, and a 5 to allow for some kind of a three-way setback before you go. See what I mean? So there is things that have to look sort of right to assign those wave counts to them, and this doesn't. So for now, I'm going to continue to look at it as a wave 4 and looking for a new high here in a wave 5 with a wave 3 now. How that translates with what's going on in in these markets, in the S&P, I don't know, because this outside day here looks a little bit weird. It's possible that we could be running into an end of a fifth wave already. I know I had this third wave a little bit higher. So, and then listen, revisiting 6147, it would not be a big deal at all. Like, even if you were to come here like that, and you would hold these levels for a few days and then maybe into next week do that, that's totally fine as well. Maybe that would be wave 1 of this wave 5, and then we would go. But listen, we can play with the labels a little bit. Again, we don't have to be precise here. I'm not forecasting the future here with extreme accuracy. So I'm giving you my 2 cents, and I'm doing the best I can with what I have to work with. Again, in terms of my positioning, I can tell you what I do. I'm still long. I'm actually long Coupang. I'm long. Palo Alto. I'm still long in here. Market recovered a little bit in here. I'm still long Amazon, CDNS. ANET. I like this. I'm long Kava, short Tesla, and short Circle. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully this was helpful. I'll talk to you tomorrow.